This is a special podcast produced on site at SHSMD Connections 2023 annual conference in Chicago, as we talk with keynote speakers and session leaders, as well as Rising Star awardees right from the show floor. I'm your host, Bill Klaproth, and with me is Nick Hanson, communications strategist, media and public affairs at Gillette Children's in St. Paul, Minnesota. And we're going to talk to Nick about being a SHSMD Rising Star awardee. Nick, welcome.
Hey, it's great to be here, Bill. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by, and congrats on being named a Rising Star awardee.
Well, there's a lot of people who could probably be rising stars, and I feel lucky to be selected as one. There was quite a nice ceremony yesterday. So
yeah, I love that. Well, congratulations. So what does it mean to you to be a Rising Star awardee?
It's quite an honor. I've had an interesting career. I started out as a journalist and then ended up going into public relations and healthcare, and I thought it would be something, I'm not sure if I like this or I can do this. I was a reporter. But I just found that as I started working for hospital and hospital systems, like working with patients and doctors and getting to know them and the stories and the research and just like helping patients achieve things and working and telling those stories, you're just really helping people by letting them know about it and the care that we provide and the research that we do. So it's been a great journey and it's a real honor. I've been at three main institutions. I've been at the University of Minnesota Medical School, Mayo Clinic, and Gillette Children's now in St. Paul. So I have grown over my career, and yeah, to be named a Rising Star is just a real honor, and I hope to inspire maybe some other people.
Absolutely. Did your journalism background help you with this and telling those stories?
Yeah, 100%. As going into a hospital, it's like making relationships with doctors is like making relationships with sources and getting to know the families and doing interviews and being able to take notes really quickly and just being able to adapt and work quickly under deadline. And whether it was just writing stories for internal communications or doing media relations, I started at the advent of social media. So I had the original Facebook and Twitter accounts and all that stuff. So
yeah,
it really helped. The reporters kind of have that hunger and they want to tell the story and they want to get those relationships and go above and beyond. And I think it totally helped me in my healthcare comms career.
Absolutely. I love that. So the theme for SHSMD Week coming up in November is Shaping the Future. So let me ask you a few Shaping the Future questions. How are you shaping the future within your own career?
Well, I am trying to be innovative and to stay up to date with the different things that are going on. I think the biggest thing is just being nimble and being able to work on your feet and try different approaches and different things, and be it things like SHSMD, right? I was just at a session on thought leadership, and there were some great ideas there. And I think I've just always been really open to new ideas and new ways of thinking. I just mentioned, like, I created the original University of Minnesota Twitter and Facebook accounts. Now, as social media has progressed, we don't do quite as much of it anymore.
Right.
And maybe that's the key in my career anyways. That's helped me become successful is maybe I should be trying this, or I did this and it didn't work, and that's okay. You learn from it and you move on to the next thing. So
yeah. Absolutely. So I love that you said you being nimble, thinking on your feet, all those types of things are great. So then how are you helping to shape your organization up there in St. Paul?
Well, what's really cool about Gillette Children's, we're small, but we're kind of the best of what we do. We attract from all different states. We attract internationally. We help kids who have complex medical conditions and disabilities. So really what we're trying to do now, one of the main conditions that we treat is cerebral palsy. When you think of MD Anderson, you think of cancer. We want to be, when you think of cerebral palsy, you think of Gillette Children's. And wherever you are in the United States or even internationally, if you want to get help with cerebral palsy or a rare disease, this is where you're going to go. We talk about one of the other things is like rare diseases aren't rare at Gillette because people come and like there may only be a handful of cases, but they come to Gillette, they get to know each other. It's a community. So for me as a communicator and working in like marketing, it's how can I get that message across? What stories can I tell? Like what patient stories do I have? What service lines do we have? How can I promote our doctors? What can I do for thought leadership? Really trying to cement and work on that brand and get it out there and let people know who need to know about us. Their kid's missing a milestone, if they think something might quite not be right, or they need a serious procedure, we're there to help them. And so that's what we're trying to do as a team and individually as myself.
And you're helping to tell those stories, especially for potential cerebral palsy patients.
Yeah, for anybody who has
rare diseases
palsy,
too,
rare diseases, it's bone, movement conditions and muscle and disorders. So
Yeah, great. So then how are you helping to shape SHSMD?
Well, I'm the president of the SHSMD affiliation in Minnesota.
Okay.
It's called the Minnesota Healthcare Strategy and Communications Network.
Yeah.
So it's been fantastic working with them. I've been on the board for about 4 years. And like I said, I'm president this year. Done a ton of great events. And during the pandemic, we had to do a lot of stuff virtually. And then when we started doing conferences in person, we had a hybrid option. So we streamed it live and you could do it that way. And then when you join the Minnesota network, you get access to all the SHSMD materials and education and that kind of stuff. So trying to let the people in Minnesota, we have a really robust healthcare system. I mean, you know, Mayo Clinic, Health Fairview, Carolina Health, Health Partners,
Sure.
a ton of great places. Letting them know, like, join our organization, you get access to SHSMD, and you can learn more about that. And personally, I want to get more involved as I join that connection. And it was really intentional to make it a SHSMD affiliated organization. I want to become more involved in the national chapter as well.
Okay. So what has SHSMD meant to you in your career?
Well, it's been great just being here and connecting. I had no idea who was going to be here. And I've seen at least a dozen people I've met through the years. And I've also networked and met a ton of different people. I think it's kind of like swapping stories, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to explain to somebody what your job is. But when I'm here, I'm like with like-minded individuals, and we can talk, we can strategize, we can tell horror stories, we can learn from each other.
Yeah.
I think it's really important to do that. And we were talking about before, you never want to stop learning. You never are going to be perfect. And it's a chance to really connect, learn, share your stories, and help others. And yeah, it's a fantastic organization. I'm really enjoying it. This is my first time.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a great place to network and meet people where you will make friends and confidants that you can have throughout your whole career.
Well, sometimes you go to these things and it's really stuffy and stiff, and everybody here is just, they just want to connect and chat.
We're marketers. We're fun people.
We are. Yeah.
Right? I love it. So what is your advice then? I know you already gave us some cool things, never stop learning, etc. What is your advice for up and coming rising stars then?
Be open to anything. So you start your job and maybe you are a writer, or you do media relations, or you do social media. That doesn't mean you shouldn't try doing video, or you shouldn't try interviewing doctors, or you shouldn't try writing some stories, or volunteering to do some graphics. I mean, don't limit yourself. Do as many things as you possibly can so you don't pigeonhole yourself into one little area. And that'll give you a robust set of skills to really grow your career. Because the thing that you get hired for, or a job you have now, you might switch a little bit down the line. And it'll also add a ton of value. If you're on the team and you're a real team player and you do all kinds of different things, your team members are going to value you. You're going to earn the trust of leadership. You're going to earn the trust of the doctors and the physicians, and whoever you work with. So just be open to anything and be a real team player.
Sounds like diversify then. You mentioned be open to anything. Video editing, interviewing, writing, graphics. The more skills you can acquire, well, you'll be more value to the organization, and you just might hit on something you're like, well, I really like this video editing. There could be a little creative area that you can excel in as well, in addition to what you do now, or maybe move into that down the road.
Yeah, I mean, if you get hired as an internal comms person, don't just be like, okay, all I do is write the internal newsletter. Be like, what other things can I do? Can I help with some social media? Or can I come up with a new idea, something that we've never done before? And don't be afraid to come up with those new ideas and share them with your team.
Yeah. Well, you sound like a self-starter, Nick. I like that. You have initiative. You want to go out and try new things.
I don't know if I'd say that, but I try.
I love it. That's so great. Nick, thank you so much for stopping by. We appreciate it.
Oh, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. That is Nick Hanson, and sign up for the SHSMD Connections virtual conference October 20th, 2023, plus on demand through the end of the year. The virtual conference will feature access to 50-plus sessions recorded from the September in-person conference, plus all new live sessions. Just go to shsmed.org/annual to learn more and to get registered. And please join us at SHSMD Connections 2024. Big announcement. It's next October in Denver. And if you found this podcast helpful, please share it on your social channels. And to access our full podcast library for other topics of interest to you, visit shsmed.org/podcast. And as always, thanks for listening.